What if the moment that changes your life forever does not come with noise, crowds, or applause, but in silence, in the middle of an ordinary day? Moses was not standing on a stage. He was not leading a nation. He was not performing miracles. He was simply a shepherd, guiding sheep through the wilderness of Midian, a place far from the palaces of Egypt and far from the dreams he once carried. 40 years earlier, Moses had been a prince, raised in Pharaoh's palace, educated, powerful, and positioned for greatness. But one mistake changed everything. After killing an Egyptian in a moment of anger, Moses fled Egypt as a fugitive. The man who once belonged in a palace was now living in the desert. 40 years passed, 40 years of routine, 40 years of obscurity, 40 years of what must have felt like forgotten potential. Have you ever felt like that? Like your life took a turn you did not expect, and now you are stuck in a season that feels small compared to what you thought your life would be? That is exactly where Moses was. One ordinary day, as he led his flock near Mount Horeb, something unusual caught his eye. A bush was on fire, but it was not burning up. The flames were real, the heat was there, but the bush remained whole. Curiosity pulled Moses closer, and sometimes that is how God begins, not with something that forces us, but with something that draws us. When Moses stepped closer, a voice called out from the fire, "Moses, Moses," and Moses answered, "Here I am." Then the voice said something that would change the atmosphere of the moment completely. "Do not come any closer. Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground." This was not just a strange sight anymore. This was a divine encounter. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob was speaking, and the first lesson of the burning bush appears here. Ordinary places become holy when God shows up. That desert, that mountain, that ordinary workday suddenly became sacred. God then revealed why he had come. "I have seen the suffering of my people in Egypt. I have heard their cries. I know their pain, and I have come down to rescue them." Those words matter. God sees, God hears, God knows, and God acts. If you have ever wondered whether your prayers matter, whether your struggles are noticed, this moment answers that question. Nothing escapes God's attention. But then came the part Moses did not expect. "So now, go. I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people out of Egypt." Moses, the shepherd. Moses, the exile. Moses, the man who had been away from Egypt for 40 years. God was not just announcing a rescue. God was giving Moses an assignment. And immediately, fear stepped in. "Who am I," Moses asked, "that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt?" That question feels familiar, doesn't it? Who am I to lead? Who am I to start? Who am I to speak? Who am I to make a difference? God's answer was simple and powerful. "I will be with you." Notice what God did not say. He did not say, "You are strong enough." He did not say, "You are qualified enough." He did not say, "You are confident enough." He said, "I will be with you." Because the calling of God is never based on our ability. It is based on his presence. Still, Moses had more questions. What if they ask who sent me? And that is when God revealed his name. "I am who I am. Tell them, I am has sent me to you." This name carries deep meaning. God was declaring that he is eternal, unchanging, self-sufficient, and always present. Not I was, not I will be, but I am. Whatever his people needed, strength, provision, protection, freedom, he already was. And the same truth remains today. Whatever you are facing right now, God is already the answer before the problem even unfolds. But the conversation did not end there. Moses continued to hesitate. What if they don't believe me? I'm not good with words. I have never been a strong speaker. One excuse after another. And if we are honest, we have done the same. God gives us an opportunity, a purpose, a step of faith, and we respond with reasons why we can't. But God did not withdraw the calling. Instead, He provided what Moses needed. He gave him signs. He gave him help. He even gave him Aaron to speak alongside him. Here is another powerful truth from the burning bush. When God calls you, He also equips you. He does not expect you to have everything figured out before you begin. In fact, God often calls people who feel unqualified because that is when His power becomes most visible. Think about Moses in that moment. A shepherd standing barefoot in the desert, talking to a bush on fire. And yet, that moment marked the beginning of one of the greatest leadership journeys in history. This story reminds us that life-changing moments do not always look dramatic at first. Sometimes they begin with a quiet nudge, a small opportunity, a conversation, an idea, a conviction you can't ignore. The burning bush represents more than a miracle. It represents a turning point, the moment when Moses stopped running from his past and started stepping into his purpose. And maybe that is where some of us are today. You may feel like your best years are behind you. You may feel like your mistakes disqualified you. You may feel like your current season is too ordinary to matter. But the burning bush tells us something different. God often prepares us in hidden seasons. God often speaks in quiet moments. And God often calls us when we least expect it. Moses was 80 years old when this happened. 80, which means it is never too late for God to start something new in your life. Now let's bring this into today's world. The burning bushes we encounter may not be literal flames, but they show up in different ways. A burden for a cause, a passion you can't ignore, a door that keeps opening, a message that keeps coming back to your heart. The question is not whether God is speaking. The question is, will we step closer like Moses did? Because purpose is often found on the other side of curiosity and obedience. Another lesson from this story is the importance of reverence. God told Moses to remove his sandals because he was standing on holy ground. In a fast-moving world where everything feels casual and rushed, this moment reminds us to slow down, to recognize the sacred, and to honor God's presence in our lives. The burning bush also teaches us that our past does not cancel our future. Moses had failed. He had run. He had lived in obscurity for decades. Yet God still chose him. Your past mistakes, your delays, your detours, none of them disqualify you from God's purpose. In fact, sometimes the desert seasons are exactly what prepare you for what comes next. And finally, the greatest message of this story is this. You, Dan T, have to be enough. God is. When you feel weak, He is strength. When you feel uncertain, He is wisdom. When you feel afraid, He is courage. When you feel alone, He is with you. That is the power of I am. So if you are in a season that feels quiet, do not assume God is absent. If you are facing a challenge that feels too big, do not assume you are unqualified. If you are feeling a nudge towards something meaningful, do not ignore it. Your burning bush moment may already be in front of you. Step closer, listen, and trust that the God who calls you will walk with you every step of the way. Thank you so much for watching. If this message encouraged you, take a moment to like this video, share your thoughts or experiences in the comments, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel. And be sure to click the notification bell so you will be notified every time we upload a new video. God bless you, and we will see you in the next one.